This could be an enormous mistake. This might be dumb. I could get hurt. We're throwing more weight on here. I could break something. This definitely might be dumb. Totally failed. Ah, shit. Mother. Good morning. Welcome back. Good to see you again. Got an exciting leg day ahead of us today. Back to our belt squat setup here. Do some weights. See how much we can get on this cable pulley. I've done a lot of research in the last week on that cable pulley. And if you remember where I left it last week, and kind of a question I posed to you all was, how can we increase the weight capacity of this rack-mounted pulley system? Now, I did a lot of research in understanding the different components of the setup here. It is only rated for 300 pounds by Titan themselves. And so the question then becomes, well, what is the limiting factor in this whole setup? I had previously upgraded the pulleys themselves, which were thought to be potentially a weak spot. I did that just so that I could have some pulleys with a bit smoother of a bearing, and those have worked out very well. When I looked at the specs on those bearings, those are actually rated, even though they're still plastic, they're not aluminum, but those are rated for 600 pounds each. So well inside whatever we're going to be doing on this cable. You know, really I need just another 200 pounds, but if we have an additional 300 all the way up to 600, that's fantastic. And by the way, I don't need 200 pounds today. I don't think we're going to need that today. But that little bit of extra gives us some overhead, and that means we don't have to worry about, you know, potentially exceeding anything again anytime soon. So the second question is the steel cable the limiting factor? I don't think so. I don't know exactly what kind of steel cable they used, but every single kind of steel cable that I can find with these types of dimensions are well over 300 pounds in weight capacity. Well over. I mean, and we're talking thousands of pounds in weight capacity. So what is it exactly that is the limiting factor? Well, it could be the mechanism that holds some of the pulleys together on the actual setup itself. There are two pulleys that are connected by a double-sided Y, basically, and it floats and moves along the cable line as that weight travels up and down. I don't think that that's actually weight bearing that much, though. I really don't. I think the weight itself is actually on the pulleys at the very top or all the way at the very bottom, which are mounted securely to the setup. It also could be the weight horns. That's the one thing that I really don't know. It really truly could be the weight horns themselves. I don't think it would be. I mean, those are welded onto steel and then onto a beam that's supporting the weight from going anywhere side to side. It's just going to travel up and down there. But it could be. It could be. So all of that is to say, I'm going to be okay crossing over that 300-pound threshold right now. I believe I did replace the weak link. I think those pulleys were a weak link, and those very well could have been that 300-pound weight limiter. The only other thing I think it could be potentially, would be these weight horns down here. But again, those are some thick welds on those weight horns, and I'd have a hard time believing that that's the limiting thing here, because that would mean that each side could only hold 150 pounds. And that seems incredibly low for the amount of weld and the amount of metal on those weight horns. So we'll see. As we go over that number, we're going to be paying a lot of attention to all those different mechanisms and just keeping an eye on those things so we don't get hurt, so nothing breaks catastrophically. We definitely want to avoid that. The real only other suggestion, though, that I had from individuals online was potentially replacing the lines with either very strong paracord. Paracord can, you know, withstand up to 1,000 pounds, or going up to some thicker gauge steel for the cable wire. Sorry, not steel, for the cable wire. And in the process of doing so, upgrading all of the pulleys to an aluminum pulley that has the ability to be a little bit wider as well in the channels of the pulley, which would allow for some slightly thicker cable. Right now, I believe the cable is 10 millimeter cable. I believe that. I haven't measured it actually, but I believe that's what it is. That's the most common cable pulley cable. And there are pulleys, aluminum pulleys in particular, that will not really increase the overall width of the whole setup, right? Drop my book. But what they will do is give a deeper depth and a slightly wider depth in that pulley itself to allow for some slightly bigger cable. And we're talking about the difference between going from 10 millimeter to like 12 millimeter. Not a huge difference in diameter, but enough to add a fairly significant weight capacity to that cable itself. Those cables, though, still are rated for well over what we're looking to do, like well over 1,000 pounds. So I just don't think it's the cable. I really don't. I'm really not certain that it is. Okay, enough dwelling and chit-chatting about that. We've got a leg day ahead of us. Like I said, we're going to be starting with our trusty leg curls here. So we're going to get into that, get after that, and breeze through it so that we can then go do our hip adductions, and then our belt squats, which is going to be our main movement for the day. We hit 280 last week on that. We are certainly going to be starting right around 280 this week and seeing how that feels. I'll see you there. Okay, we're set here. Number 2. Oh. Whew. These are incredibly smooth this morning. Incredibly smooth. There was, on that first set there, this moment in my head where I was like, it's moving so smoothly that I have to focus more on controlling that negative, if that even makes sense. It was just so smooth up and down, such good pace between the two. And I was working. Like it was hard work. It wasn't easy. I was working for it. But I had to focus more on controlling that negative to get just that little bit more out of it as we were coming down there and really, really take that work capacity to a whole new level. But man, these are feeling really good today. Really good. Okay, last set here. Come on. Come on. Come on. All right. Time for some hip adductions. Let's get after it. Keeping the weight the same as we had last week here. We've got 35 pounds on the pulley. It felt good. It felt very workable, but still like we had a lot of actual work we had to do to finish these sets. So we're going to keep it here to start at least. Maybe we'll go up, but I'm not really anticipating that as this weight's been feeling pretty darn good from a hypertrophy standpoint. Perfect, just like we imagined. No sense in taking that weight up. The amount of effort I have to hold that there once we bring it in a little bit, to hold it and then slowly release it is just absolutely perfect. So there's no sense in upping the weight, but I still want to. I'm gonna give it a go here. So we're at 35. I'm gonna bump it up to 40 for this set right now, and we'll see what happens. This could be an enormous mistake. I could get hurt. I could break something. All right, that's a little dramatic there. But we're gonna give it a go anyway. We're gonna try 40, see what happens here. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. We may struggle on the reps a little bit, and if we get halfway through that set, or even a quarter of the way, and we're really like not having good form, good ROM, we'll drop it back down to 35 here. Here we go, 40. Very good. That's great. What were we worried about? I think I lost count there. I'll be honest. I'm not entirely sure if I hit all of those reps, but it felt good. That felt nice. Over here, when I was doing my left side facing away from you, I had to take a minute to pause. It's not that it was hard, like I needed a break for a second. I felt like I couldn't get the form right. You know, the hold I was looking for, all that stuff. So I just needed to take a second to reset mid-set there, get my mind in the right spot, and then adjust from there and go forward. That seemed to work. All right, one more set here before we get on to our belt squats. Again, contraction, biggest focus right now. Making sure that when we get to the top of this rep, that we are really holding it there for a second before we let it go with control. With control. What I really don't want is to just let it go and my leg just kind of sweeps out and gets kind of pulled over this way. It's going to lose all the tension and all the potential work that's going to be available to us by using a little bit more control here and getting the maximal amount of hypertrophy here. There you go. Whew. All right, the hold wasn't as good as I was hoping for on this side. It wasn't non-existent, but it wasn't as strong as I would like it to be. So a little bit more emphasis here on that. There we go. Gotta reduce that weight down. Oh, okay. Well, we did it. We did it. Okay. It was good. I'm glad we upped the weight. We're going to play with that weight again next week. And, you know, we may have to lower it like we did mid-set there, but that's okay. I'm not upset about that. All right, we're going to get these ankle cuffs off here, get the rack set up for the belt squat, and actually start squatting. squat, belt squat. Carabiner totally failed on us here. Bring it in closer for you guys here. Look at this thing. Totally failed. Totally split open. I don't know if you can see this. Let's see if we can get close enough for you to read it right here. Can you read that? Max static load, 855 pounds. I mean, it doesn't get much more static than a pulley sitting on you, right? Wow. That's concerning. We're going to be trying to get our money back on these, that's for sure. Good thing I got a couple extra. The other one seems to be doing fine. So let's move it to a different one. All right, let's actually squat, huh? Good. I'm pleased with that. Well, apart from the carabiner breaking, good first set there. We upped the weight to 290, and gosh, it's feeling great. So guess what? We're going up. We're going up. 300. Here we go. Number 2, 300. Yeah. There we go. Good. These are feeling real good. Real smooth. Like we're getting in some solid weight work in here, but the hypertrophy gains are still very, very, very much present and active. Number 3 here. Yeah. All right, y'all, we got one more set of this here. One more frickin' set. This is gonna be a tough one. We're throwing more weight on here. This might be dumb. This definitely might be dumb for a number of reasons, but we're going up to 320. Okay, 320. I think we're pushing everything here. This weather needs to improve so I can make V2 of this, so we get a little bit less flexion here in the middle. But I think we're good. We're good. All right, 320. Let's hit it. Oh boy. All right, now that we've done utter destruction on all those amazing belt squat sets, let's do some equal destruction here on our leg extensions. Strapped in, low rest here, pure hypertrophy. That's the name of the game. Let's do it. Let's do it. Whew. Okay. Whew. Set number 2. Oh boy. Oh wow. Our quads are just hammered. Number 3. Oh, okay, we got one more here. It's gonna be long length partials for sure. Oh boy, it's all right. Okay, last set. Let's get it. Come on. As many long length partials as we need here. But we're gonna get all these reps, all 12. Oh boy. Oh, that's it. Oh. Okay, folks. This is where me and my destroyed legs leave you. We're done for the day. We've got to do calves, but we're done with the major leg work. So I've got to clean up this belt squat still. Make an adjustment to the safety chain. I shortened it, and I need to take out, I think, 2 inches on that just to make sure I can get low enough when I need to there. So this is where I bid you farewell. I got some cleanup to do, some calf raises to do. Hope you have a stellar day. This day is off to an amazing start so far. Those freaking belt squats were amazing. A lot could have gone wrong. Thankfully it didn't. I want to expedite building the second version. I've already got some ideas. Might even try to get some aluminum of some kind, or I don't know, some other metal that's going to be lightweight, but a little bit more structurally sound than this. So I'll keep you all posted on that. Can't make any promises yet because I really have no idea what that would actually be, but I'll keep you informed. Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys again next time.